Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. Today I'm going to present you the topic Programming Development Life Cycle, PDLC, the short form for Programming Development Life Cycle. Outline of our topic is definition of programming, program development, phases of programming development life cycle, steps in development of program, debugging, and the summary. So, definition of programming is, it is known as a software development is the creation of the list of instructions for a computer, is a problem solving procedures which follows a 6-step process in development of instructions or programs. It is also called instructions or statements code carried out by the computer's CPU. The program development life cycle. There are few steps that we follow for the program development life cycle are: analyze or define the problem, design programs, code programs, test programs, and formalize solution. And last one is maintain the process. Here you can see a diagram displaying the programming development life cycle, which is the first step: analyze problem, review program specifications, meet with analysts and users, identify problems, programs, components. The next one is design program, group activities into modules, devise solution algorithms, test solution algorithms. The next one is code problems. Translate solution algorithms in a programming language. Enter program code into computer. The fourth one is test that program. Remove any syntax error. Remove any logical errors. The next one is formalize solution. Review the program code, review documentation, and formalize a better solution for the problem. The last one and the sixth one is maintain programs. Identify your error in the programs and identify the enhancement you need to do in the program. Programming development. The program development life cycle is an organized method of software development that bears many similarities to the system development life cycle. The need for programming development life cycle. Why the need for development of programming life cycle arise? It is basically used for the better software and quality of product in the market. Here you can see the 6 phases of program development life cycle: design the problem, code the problem, testing and debugging, formalizing the problem, and maintain the problems. Did you know this? Read thermostat, read temperature. Is the temperature is less than thermostat? If yes, then checks if the furnace is on. If yes, then again read the thermostat, and if the furnace is not on, no, then turn furnace on. Again, is temperature is less than thermostat? If no, then check if the furnace is on. If yes, then turn off the furnace, and if no, then again read the thermostat. Then it will again read the temperature. Is the temperature is less than thermostat, it will again check if the furnace is on or off. It's a loop which checks the condition and execute the problem. So programmers need a model of a logical process before they can write a code. Here it was a short demo for the logical process before they can write a code. So writing a program, we use different steps. The first step is program specification or defining the problem of program. The second step is develop an algorithm or a step-by-step description of how to arrive a solution. The third one is code or write the program. The fourth one is test the program and eliminate the syntax and logical errors. The fifth one is complete the documentation or descriptions of the purpose and process of the program. The sixth one is implement and maintain the system. What initiates the program development life cycle have? End of the analysis phase of the system development life cycle, program specification, program development life cycle, programming team, programmer security, video. There are 6 steps in developing a program. Number 1 is define the program which needed the output, the available input, definition of how to transform available input into a needed output or processing requirements. The first step is define the problem. In the first step, you have to analyze the problem, in which you have to review the program specification package, meet with the system analyst and user, identify the program's input, output, processing requirement, and in the first step, then you have to design the program. Group the program activities into modules, devise the solution algorithms for each module, test the solution algorithms, and then the second step is the designing of the solution. Design the solution, that is developing an algorithm. Programmer begins solving problems by developing an algorithm. An algorithm is a step-by-step description of how to arrive at a solution. You are familiar with how to write an algorithm. We have a separate video on the algorithm topic where you can learn that what is basically algorithm and how to write a step-by-step description of algorithm for writing a program. So you can think of an algorithm is a recipe of how to sheet. Program design tools. The third step is code the program. Writing the actual program is called coding. There is no need of write a pseudocode or algorithm. The actual code to write a program is called coding. So this is where the programmer translates the logic of the pseudocode into the actual program code. We have a different video on a pseudocode. You can go and check that video about pseudocode. The programs should be written on paper first. A good program is on that it contains reliable, works under the most conditions, catches obvious and common input errors. The fourth step is test programs. Types of errors we go through in programming are syntax error, occurs when the code violates the syntax or grammar of the programming language. For example, we do write some lines or in any language, then we have to follow the grammatical rules of writing that language. For example, if we are writing in English, then we have to follow the structure of the English sentence, that is subject plus verb plus object. You cannot shuffle this grammatical sequence. Similarly, in the programming language, you have to follow the steps, the grammars, the syntax of the programming language. So the errors we go through in the programming are syntax error, so which occurs then when we violate the syntax, when we don't follow the grammatical rules of that particular programming language. The second one is misspelling a command. Same is the case with English, same is the case with other language. You have to write the proper, accurate, correct spelling of that language. So leaving out the required punctuations. Similarly in English, I am just giving you the example of English because you all are familiar with the English from your O level, from your pre-level. So for writing a program, you have to follow all the grammatical rules, all the required punctuations, as the punctuations are in English. When you write a sentence in English, you have to mark the full stop at the end of the sentence. That is the punctuation mark. So it's a rule for writing English. Similarly, we have different rules for writing programming language. So we have to follow that rules while writing a program, before designing a program. So the error arrives when we don't follow the required punctuation, that is semicolon, and all these are the punctuations. You have to mark that. The next one is typing command words out of order. So you have to write all the command words within the order. Logical errors. Logical errors are flaw in the design that generates inaccurate results. Your program runs with logical error, but it doesn't give you the required output. That is logical errors. Next we have all programs must be tested for errors. This is a process known as debugging. You have to find a bug, you have to find error. So finding and testing all the errors is called debugging. There are two types of error that must be eliminated from a program before it can be used as a real-time computing environment, that are syntax error and logical error. You have to remove these both errors, then you will get the perfect and the required output of your program. Syntax and logic errors. Syntax error are those which violate the rules of language, as I have told earlier in the previous slide. These are frequently created when the program is input. It is a queuing error. For example, instead of typing the word going, the word gong is typed instead. So you have to follow all the grammatical rules and you have to avoid the syntax error. The second one is logic errors. Logic errors are those that occurs when programming instructions do not follow a logical sequence. You have to follow the logic, you have to make up a mind for that logic, that with what input, with what required knowledge, you have to output that required solution. The second one is debugging. There are several methods of debugging a program. They include desk checking, manual testing with simple data, testing sample data on the computer, testing by a select group of potential users. Desk checking is the line by line of code for the syntax and or logic errors. This is the process being used to correct the problem. The second one is manual testing with the sample data. This uses all types of data, both the correct and incorrect, to manually test a program. Testing sample data on the computer uses all types of data, correct and incorrect, to test a program. This is done after all syntax errors are correct. Testing by select group of potential users. It's also called beta testing. This is a potential user trying a problem and providing feedback. Step 5 is formalize the solution and conduct program documentation. Review program code. Review all the documentation, which includes hierarchy chart, solution algorithms for a program flowchart or pseudocode. Test data. All program code listing containing a global and internal elements. Documentation consists of written descriptions and procedures about a program and how to use it. It is done on a continual basis throughout all the steps of the program development process. Documentation is provided for users, operators, and programmers. The last step is maintain a program. Correct errors, add enhancement which needed in the program, fix errors, modify or expand the program. The programming maintenance activities fall into two categories: operations and changing needs. Operations: locating and correcting the operational errors and standardizing software. Changing needs: programs may need to be modified for a variety of reasons, for example, new tax laws and new company policies. So it was all about today's lecture. We have learned about the programming development life cycle, the 6 steps of program development life cycle, why they are necessary, why we use the program development life cycle. We use them for the better quality of the programs in the market. So I want you guys to write a summary in the comments below that what you have learned from this lecture is beneficial for you or not, and we'll meet in the next lecture. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.